One of the great fascinations for readers of crime thrillers is to understand the psychology behind the minds of the monsters that we writers create. And there can't be many better backgrounds than to have been a psychologist before you started writing thrillers. I'm delighted to welcome Kate Medina.
My main writing tip is to plot really well, I think. I always plot, maybe because I was in the Territorial Army and I can't take a step without having a plan, so I always plot in a lot of detail before I start writing. A lot of my creativity comes out during my plotting phase. Probably my favourite was White Crocodile, purely because it was based on very, very personal experiences. You know, I travelled to Cambodia when I was head of land-based weapons systems at Jane's Information Group, and I saw a lot of poverty and trauma there, and I really wanted to write about it. I wanted to bring sort of the deprivation I saw to the wider world, and that's what motivated me to write White Crocodile. Well, I have 3 young children, so I have to do the school run, so I sit down when I get home about 9 o'clock, and then I write till lunchtime, and then I have a quick lunch, take the dogs out, and then I do another hour or 2 before I pick them up. And then often, just because I just don't really have enough time, I work quite a few evenings as well. I'm not really inspired by books, I'm really inspired more by my experiences. So White Crocodile was inspired by a sort of personal journey to Cambodia, and Fire Damage was inspired by my degree in psychology, a study I did when I was doing my degree in psychology of a little boy who was frightened of this sort of ghost man, and everyone thought he was just typically frightened of ghosts, but actually had a very real reason to be frightened of the ghost man. So that was sort of my inspiration. It's more things I've seen or read or experienced that give me inspiration rather than books. Actually, horse riding. I own a pony who I love, so I do eventing on my pony, cross country, which is very dangerous, and I absolutely love it. Maybe because there is so much danger involved with it. Well, I always get myself a latte. I love lattes. I think probably half my calorie consumption each day is in lattes, so I always have a latte, and I probably have 3 or 4 in the morning, so that I always have to have my latte there before I start writing. No, I sort of always wanted to be in the army, which I think is why I joined the Territorial Army. And then it was actually when I went to Cambodia that I was really inspired to start writing, and I just wanted to write White Crocodile. But once you've written one book that is popular, your publisher says, well, you need to write another one now. So I think I almost fell into it more than always wanted to be a writer. But having said that, I've always loved to read and I've always loved to write, so I suppose that desire was always kind of innate in me. I think probably the question I hate being asked is, what's the last book you've read? Because I can never remember. I read a lot of books, but it always puts me on the spot. I get loads of pieces of paper, A4 pieces of paper, and I stick them together till I've got a huge sort of table-sized white thing on the floor, and then I plan each chapter with Post-it notes. So I literally write what's going to happen in each scene with Post-it notes, and then I stick them onto this white thing. So I end up with this huge sort of map effectively on my floor that no one is allowed to walk on for about a year while I write my novel. Recently, my plot for my most recent novel, which was half done, my daughter had a play date and they thought it would be really funny to switch all the Post-it notes around on my plot because I hadn't stuck them down yet, and that was so not funny, and I lost a couple of days trying to work out the original order, so that was losing quite a lot of time.
Thanks so much, Kate Medina, for being in the Author Studio.